My ungrateful father passed down the family business to my incompetent brother, so I left now. They are begging for me to come back because the company is going bankrupt. I started working for my dad's plumbing company when I was 15. Learned to sweat copper pipes before I could drive. Went to college for my gas and plumbing certifications, while my older brother went off to university to become an accountant. He'd come home for holidays and make jokes about how I smelled like sewage and how dirty work wasn't for people with real ambition. I didn't care. I loved the business. By the time I was 22, I was running service calls solo. At 25, Dad made me operations manager. We grew from 5 vans to 50 over 12 years. I hired every technician, personally trained half of them myself, and built relationships with commercial clients worth millions in contracts. My brother stayed in the city. Called maybe twice a year. Never asked about the business. When the pandemic hit, everything changed. My brother lost his accounting job and moved back home. Suddenly, he was interested in the family business. Dad put him on payroll handling bookkeeping 3 days a week at $60K a year. I was working 70-hour weeks managing crews, coordinating jobs, and closing deals while making $55K. I brought it up to Dad once. He said family helps family, and my brother needed support right now. Fair enough, I guess. Last month, Dad called a family dinner. Said he had an announcement. Mom was crying before he even started talking. He said his diabetes was getting worse and he needed to step down. He was giving the business to my brother effective immediately. I sat there waiting for the part where he explained my new role. Instead, he said I'd be stepping down from operations and going back to working on tools as a heating engineer. My salary was getting cut to $35K. My brother, who'd been there 8 months, was now my boss. I asked Dad why. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Your brother has a degree and a family to support. You're single and you didn't go to university. This is what's fair. Fair. 12 years of 60-hour weeks. 12 years of being on call every weekend. 12 years of skipping vacations to cover emergency calls. And it wasn't fair that I'd run the company." I told him if that's his decision, then I'm done. He said I was being dramatic and I'd change my mind once I calmed down. My brother smirked and said he looked forward to working with me. I gave them 3 weeks notice, tried to do a proper handover. My brother wouldn't listen to anything I said, told me he'd run the numbers and we were doing things his way now. He cut our emergency call fees by 40% to attract more customers. I tried explaining that emergency calls are premium revenue and clients pay for expertise, not discounts. He said I didn't understand modern business. 15 of our techs pulled me aside during those 3 weeks. Said if I ever started my own company, they'd come work for me. 3 of them with over 10 years experience each put in their notice the day after I left. I spent 6 months building. Reached out to every major client I'd worked with personally over the years. The owner of a chain of car dealerships remembered me from a flooding emergency I'd handled 3 years ago. He gave me a $150K annual contract on the spot. A property management company I'd done work for signed on for $200K. By month 4, I had $300K in confirmed contracts and 5 technicians. Then Dad called. Said we needed to talk in person. It was important. I showed up for dinner and the whole family was there. The atmosphere felt like a funeral. Mom wouldn't look at me. My sister-in-law kept glaring. My brother sat at the table scrolling his phone. Dad pulled me and my brother into his office. The same office where we used to plan expansion strategies over coffee every Friday morning. He sat down and said, "We need you back Monday morning. The business needs you." I asked what he meant. He said things had been difficult since I left and they needed my help getting back on track. I asked him why I'd come back when I had my own company now. My brother exploded. Started yelling about how selfish I was, how I'd sabotaged them by taking clients and stealing employees. I told him I didn't steal anyone. Those clients chose to work with me because they trusted me. Those employees left because they didn't trust him. Dad tried to calm things down. That's when he admitted the truth. They were $70K in debt. 8 major clients had ended their contracts. My brother had fired 2 senior techs for questioning his decisions and 4 others quit in response. They were down to 31 vans from 50 and couldn't cover their service area anymore. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "You built this company. We need you to save it." I stood up and told him he made his choice. He chose a degree over experience. He chose favoritism over fairness, and now he'd have to live with it. My brother called me vindictive. Said I was letting the family business die out of spite. I looked at both of them and said, "You didn't want me when things were good. You don't get me now that they're bad." And I walked out. That was 2 weeks ago. Heard from one of the guys still there that they're closing 15 vans next month. Meanwhile, I just signed a lease on a second location and I'm hiring 3 more techs.